So again, acceptance is the same as letting go. Okay? Only in acceptance can you let go. As long as you are positively attached to what is, right? So there's an attachment there. There's a relationship there. As long as you are negatively attached to something, if you're resisting, fighting against, there's a relationship there. Attention is flowing there. Okay? So positive and negative sort of attach you. They bind you to the thoughts, emotions, experience, whatever is arising. Acceptance, I don't want you to think it's neutral. We can use that word, but it doesn't do it justice. When in acceptance, actually it is a practice that is transcendent of positive and negative. It is not in a mental perspective of good, bad, positive, negative, this, that. It is actually a greater transcendent perspective, which you can say is in harmony with the true witnessing essence. So see, positive, negative bring you into personality, the personal perspective, limited perspective. Okay? Which keeps you binded. In acceptance, we are transcending the personal perspective and coming into harmony with our true essential perspective of the witnessing essence of the awareness, in which positive, negative don't exist. Okay? So only in acceptance can we be free. Positive, negative, both bind. So you have to see that emotions themselves, or even pain itself, it itself isn't bad. It itself doesn't necessarily mean something. The thing is that when emotions arise, usually with them, hundreds and hundreds of thoughts arise. And attention and engagement with these thoughts now distorts reality, distorts your perspective of just what is. So an emotion may be arising, a negative emotion of sadness or anger. That itself is just a reaction that just happens, And it's not necessarily negative on its own. It's just a feeling, a sensation. But now the narrative that it creates is what distorts what is. Whatever circumstance, whatever situation, life itself, it distorts it. And it's funny because the emotions, create all these sorts of thoughts, which again, if you are identified and if there's great belief in your thoughts, you will completely buy into those projections. These thoughts will just happen to you, and they're always attached to the story of what caused the emotion or what it means and stuff. And as long as there's great belief and identification there, then you will completely buy into just the thoughts that just totally arise out of nowhere. And whatever they're saying, you will just arise. And then you will act according to those thoughts. And whatever they're saying, because you believe that this is me. So not only does it make you inwardly suffer the emotion and what's going on, but also externally, it totally influences your action. And ultimately, it creates dysfunction further on in your experience. So as long as there's great belief and identification in the thoughts, you will totally, fall into that. But also, you will engage with it more and more. You will stay your interest will keep you stuck on those thoughts, your attention there. And the thoughts are always between positive, negative, past, future, good, bad. That is mind, you see? And so as long as you keep dwelling here, as long as you keep your attention hooked here, now there's a relationship that is built. Now there's attachment to all these emotions, thoughts, experience, everything. So now it actually further fuels the emotion, which then further creates a narrative, so it's like a vicious cycle, sort of. Acceptance does not fight against this cycle. Acceptance dissolves it through transcendence. in a very, very simple way. Okay? So right now, feel free to close your eyes too. And the essence of acceptance is to come into just pure observing of what is happening, whatever emotion may be arising, whatever thoughts may be arising with it, whatever the experience that has already manifested, which you have no control over right now. You can't, what happened may really suck, It may be very unpleasant. However, it is right now. It can change in the future for sure. But right now, it is the way that it is. So, we must come into pure observing without narrative, without projection of what is. So, with your eyes closed, you see, the moment you close your eyes, automatically now what you're perceiving, what you are aware of, is much more subtle than outside world, right? What you consider solid physical objects. Now, all that you're seeing, all that you're knowing, all that you are aware of is maybe just this empty blackness, or some thoughts that are arising, the sensations that you feel as my body, maybe the emotion that is here, maybe certain heaviness that you feel in the body. Whatever it may be. You take your attention and bring it to the sensations, the feeling, fully. Not for any purpose. Not to get rid of it. Not to manipulate it. Not to change it. Not to avoid it. You bring your attention fully to the sensation, the feeling, the emotion in the body. Right now, because we're all just on this sort of call, right now we're pretty much all, in a balanced state, I'm assuming, unless something happened right before this call for you, in which case, great. Now you can practice even better. Right now you may say, there's nothing really going on in my experience. There's no sort of heavy sensation or feeling or whatnot. And that's fine. Then you must just train right now to keep your attention in the body. Recognize that what you call the body, when your eyes are closed, right, the visual image of the body does not exist. The body is just known as just a bunch of sensations, which you've been accustomed to call the body, okay? But right now, all that you really know of the body is just a bunch of sensations. Bring your attention to these sensations, to the outline of your body. When you feel sort of nervousness, and maybe you have to sort of resort to your past experience to understand this, when you feel some sort of nervousness or anger or resentment, jealousy, negativity, frustration, recognize that all that really happens is just the sensations which you call your body. It just changes a little bit in whichever way. We've given names and labels to all these sorts of emotions, but ultimately they're just a bundle of sensations which differ from one another. So let's say anger or frustration arise. All it really is just the actual experience, the sensation, the neutral sensation of frustration or anger. It itself is not a problem. It itself is not doing anything to you. It itself is not attacking you. It itself is not threatening you or your future. We suffer these emotions because automatically they come with hundreds of thoughts. So the anger, the emotion of anger, will come with thoughts of what made this emotion arise, what caused it, the story around it, what it means based off of what people have told you and what your past experience is. And automatically also thoughts of resistance to this anger because it's unpleasant arise, along with thoughts of resistance towards what made it arise because it's unpleasant. So you think anything that made it arise or anybody that made it arise is their fault and they must also be attacked. So all these thoughts arise. And the thoughts is where the suffering is, okay? Suffering is not in any pain. Suffering does not lie in any emotion, any sensation, any feeling. The moment we step into thoughts about what is happening, which is projection about the emotion or the experience, that is where suffering arises. So again, come back here, be here, and recognize that all you must do in a time like this, when this happens, is you take the attention, right? Again, it's all about the attention. You take the attention away from the thoughts, no matter how important they seem, no matter how much it feels like I need to think this, or even if it's like, there's a sense of righteousness to, I need to, like, I'm strong in my position. This person did do me wrong, so I must, think this. I'm right. Doesn't matter in that moment. I don't care if you're right or wrong. If you were deeply wronged by somebody, take the attention away from the thought and bring it just to the sensation, the feeling. And just keep it here. And you allow the feeling to be the feeling. You allow it to be as it is, even the pain. Just actually, when you turn your attention to the pain, you recognize that the pain is actually pretty tolerable. Then you go again with the thought, and then the thought is resisting the pain. But then, okay, just bring the attention back to the pain, to the emotion. Realize that with this method, we're not trying to do anything to the emotion or change it, or, I say don't even necessarily do this practice to be rid of your pain or your anger or this or that. Simply learn. So this is you learning the ability to be with life as it has manifested, as it is, without constantly being in mental projection about what life is. Because mental projection keeps you in the personal perspective, whereas being with what has arisen or arised as it is, and just allowing it to be, right? Just fully being with it, having no agenda for it, just actually bringing your attention to it, not interpreting it, not labeling it, not thinking about its future or how it's going to affect you, just bringing the attention fully here onto the emotion, the sensation, the feeling, and just allowing it to be. Here, the moment you ask, okay, how long should I do this before it dissolves? Recognize that you're already in resistance. Your need to dissolve or get rid of this is already the resistance we're talking about, which is totally personal. Again, take your attention away from that thought and just keep it here. Bring it back to the sensation, the emotion, the feeling. And just allow it to be. In the beginning, you have to do this like a meditation, kind of, just to understand, and play around and gain some experience with it. But over time, you can be in the middle of work, in the middle of a heated conversation, and do your best to bring the attention just to the emotion, the sensation, the feeling. Every time you do so, you enter into the mode of just the pure witnessing. All the layers of the person are, for that moment, non-existent. And it's just you as the witness, the awareness, fully aware and allowing what has arisen in your awareness. This instantly places you in harmony, acceptance of what is. No longer are the layers and layers of personal agendas and resistance and desires and fears distorting this relationship of you as the witness, the awareness, and that which you are witnessing, which also in essence is your own very self. So the reason we also call this letting go is because now what has arisen ultimately will pass. It will just play out. Just like right now, this moment, the contents of this moment, my voice and this call, the contents of this moment are totally allowed to be. You're fully allowing this call. This experience is fully allowed and you're just here. And it passes, you see? Everything that arises passes. Have you ever been able to attach and cling on to any phase of your life? Any emotion? Any personality that you thought you were? Any belief system? Everything that is seen to arise, everything that is perceived, it passes. It is the very nature of temporary experience to arise and subside. So in acceptance, when we come as the pure witnessing, when we recognize our nature as just a pure witnessing and we harmonize with it in a way by dissolving these sorts of personal layers, by just taking the attention away from thought and bringing it into the actual experience. Now what has arisen will subside in its own time. Have no agenda for it. But no longer will you bind yourself to it and perpetuate it through your very constant attention on it. And then the actions and the thoughts which then further place you in like situations and emotions like that. All comes down to your attention. Thank you for watching this video. Now, here are a couple of ways that I can be of direct help to you right now. Okay, and I'm going to link everything that I mentioned right now in the description box below. So number one is you can join our free Personal Mastery Quest community, our Facebook group, on which you can interact with me personally and ask me all your questions. I love the community over there and I do my best to reply to you as soon as possible. Okay, number two, if you have not yet watched my free Ego to Presence Masterclass, in which I teach you how to implement the teaching of self-inquiry into your life step by step and deepen your meditation and deepen your self-inquiry profoundly, then again, check the link in the description box below and go watch that masterclass. It is 1 hour. It will bring you tremendous value, okay? And now lastly, if you want to work with me and my team personally, and you want me to help you dissolve mind identification and realize your true being, then you can check out my coaching program, the Higher Consciousness Shift. All the details of it are down below in the description box. Just click the link that is under section coaching. Okay, and it'll take you there to my personal website where you can go through all the details and book a free call with me, and we can decide if we're the right fit to work together. That's all for today. I will see you in the next video.